Day 2 of the training will center on the rights-based approach to service delivery and explore country commitments to global, regional, and national agriculture frameworks. The day will begin with the arrival and registration of all participants, followed by a recap of Day 1, led by the recap team. To energize the group, participants will engage in icebreakers and action songs. New roles for the day will be established, including the selection of a chairperson, timekeeper, and recap team, along with setting ground rules for the day's activities. The focus of Day 2 will be guided by two key objectives. 1. Enhance understanding of the rights-based approach to service delivery, highlighting the responsibilities of the state, duty bearers, and the rights of citizens, right holders. 2. Understanding national commitments to agriculture at district, national, regional, continental, and global level. Topic 2 will dive into understanding the human rights flower, covering civil, political, economic, social, cultural rights, the Constitution, and service delivery. In Session 1, we'll explore the human rights approach according to the United Nations framework. But first, let's define human rights. Human rights are all the rights and freedoms that every person is inherently entitled to. Rooted in the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights from 1948, they form the foundation for justice, freedom, and peace worldwide. At their core is the belief that all human beings are born with equal dignity and rights. A human rights-based approach recognizes the inherent human dignity of all people and groups of people. It seeks to promote, protect, and ensure the individual human being or person's rights are respected and fulfilled. These rights are cultural, social, political, and economic. Human rights-based approach is based on two main groups of people. 1. Duty bearers. These are actors who have a particular obligation or responsibility to respect, promote, and realize human rights and to abstain from human rights violations. 2. Right holders. These are people who rightfully have title over their territory and the natural resources belonging to it. The International Covenant on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights is a multilateral treaty adopted by the United Nations General Assembly on December 16, 1966, and came into force on 3 January 1976. It commits its parties to work toward the granting of economic, social, and cultural rights to all individuals. The rights include labor rights, the right to health, the right to education, and the right to an adequate standard of living. As of February 2024, the Covenant has 172 parties. The human rights flower is a visual representation of human rights principles and values. It typically features a flower with petals that each symbolize a different right or principle, such as freedom of speech, equality, and justice. The idea is to illustrate how these rights are interconnected and essential for a flourishing society, much like the petals of a flower contribute to its beauty. Session 2. African Charter of Peoples and Human Rights. In this session, we will explore the African Charter on Human and People's Rights. Adopted in 2002 by the African Commission on Human and People's Rights, a body within the African Union to which all African countries belong, the Charter serves as a cornerstone for human rights on the continent. Countries integrate these human rights principles into their constitutions, policies, laws, budgets, and everyday practices. In Session 3, we will look into the national constitutions and human rights. Human rights are enshrined within the national constitutions of every country. These constitutions outline the fundamental rights and obligations of citizens, ensuring protection and dignity for all. In Malawi, Chapter 4, Sections 15, 16, and 19 of the Constitution emphasize the protection of human rights and freedoms, including the right to life, personal dignity, and freedom. In Tanzania, Part 3, Article 12 of the Constitution outlines the basic rights and duties of citizens, ensuring their protection and well-being. Similarly, Zambia's constitution, under Article 8, stipulates rights related to human dignity, equality, social justice, and non-discrimination. In Zimbabwe, Chapter 4 of the Constitution, from sections 44 to 87, contains the Declaration of Rights, which outlines the rights and freedoms that every person in Zimbabwe is entitled to. It is important to ensure that participants understand how their own constitution protects their rights and obligations as citizens. In Topic 3, we'll explore country commitments to global, regional, national, and district agriculture frameworks. Session 1 of Topic 3 will focus on the global and regional commitments, such as the Sustainable Development Goals, the African Union's Agenda 2063, the Comprehensive Africa Agriculture Development Program, and the Kampala Declaration 2026 to 2035, alongside its biennial review reports. At the international and continental levels, African countries have signed declarations with goals to be achieved within specified timelines. These commitments are translated into actions, adapted by regional economic communities, and implemented further at the national and district levels. Beginning with the Sustainable Development Goals. On September 25 to 27, 2015, world leaders gathered at the United Nations in New York, setting forth the 17 Sustainable Development Goals as a shared blueprint for peace and prosperity to be achieved by 2030. Below are the 17 SDG goals. SDG 1, No Poverty, and SDG 2, Zero Hunger, are fundamental to the agriculture sector as they directly address the goals of ending poverty and ensuring food security. Africa Agenda 2063. This vision and action plan for Africa calls on all Africans to work together toward a prosperous and united continent, built on shared values and a common destiny. Africa's heads of state and government renewed their commitment to accelerating the continent's progress through this agenda. The Agenda 2063 had the following goals. The Comprehensive Africa Agriculture Development Program was launched in 2003 by the African Union and was initially known as the Maputo Declaration. It focused on 4 primary goals. 1. Sustainable land and water management. 2. Rural infrastructure and trade-related capacities. 3. Agricultural research, technology and dissemination. And 4. Increasing food supply and reducing hunger. Following the Maputo Declaration, many countries struggled to fully achieve these goals. This led to the Malabo Declaration 2014 to 2025, which introduced 7 updated targets, aiming for 1. Recommitment to COP. 2. Investing 10% to agriculture. 3. Ending hunger by 2025. 4. Reducing poverty by half by 2025. 5. Tripling intra-African trade. 6. Enhancing climate resilience. 7. Mutual accountability to actions and results. Looking ahead, the African Union Commission along with other key stakeholders in the agriculture is putting in place the new CADAP Kampala Declaration 2026 to 2035 with 6 specific goals that focus on 1. Intensify sustainable food production, agro-industrialization and trade. 2. Boost investment and financing in transforming agri-food systems. 3. Ensure food and nutrition security across the continent. 4. Advance inclusivity and equitable livelihood. 5. Building resilient agri-food systems. 6. Strengthen agri-food systems governance. In Session 2, we will dive into the SADC Regional Indicative Strategic Development Plan 2030, along with the EAC Development Strategy 2026, examining how these frameworks shape the agriculture sector in the region. First, let's look at the RSTIP 2020 to 2030. Approved by SADC heads of state in 2020, the RSTIP lays out a roadmap for regional progress across several key areas. These include the foundation, peace, security, and good governance. Pillar 1, industrial development and market integration. Pillar 2, infrastructure development to enhance regional integration. Pillar 3, social and human capital development and cross-cutting issues including gender, youth, environment, climate change, and disaster risk management. Agriculture stands out in Pillar 1, with a strategic objective focused on transforming the sector through sustainable environmental practices. This includes supporting innovative agricultural production, boosting crop productivity, implementing early warning systems, and advancing agricultural research. The 6th East African Community Development Strategy 2026 has 8 key priority areas as follows. 1. Strengthening of regional peace, security. 2. Provision of customs services that facilitate legitimate trade. 3. Enhancing productive and social sectors to boost productivity for the welfare of East Africans. 4. Full implementation of the East African Monetary Union Protocol. 5. Modernizing production and logistics with digital frameworks. 6. Development of regional infrastructure to support the integration process. 7. Institutional transformation at the regional level. 8. Promotion of awareness creation and dissemination of information on the community. In this strategy, agriculture and food security key priorities include promoting sustainable resource management to enhance agricultural productivity, ensure food security, and support international and cross-border trade. In Session 3, we will focus on the National Agriculture Investment Plans, or NAIPs. Every African country is expected to develop a NAIP that aligns with continental and regional agricultural frameworks. These plans can be unique, tailored to address specific national priorities, which can include issues like land use, water resources, agro-industrialization, mechanization, the involvement of women and youth, ending hunger, and reducing poverty. In some cases, countries have even decentralized their NAIPs down to the district level, known as district agriculture development programs. It is essential for farmers to understand these national and district level priorities, and to advocate for the commitments outlined in strategic plans, national agriculture investment plans, district plans, and even the promises made in ruling party election manifestos. Session 4, Participatory Reflection of the Day. In this session, participants will form at least 4 groups and reflect on the relevance of the human right provisions and global, continental and regional frameworks, to the district and community level. Participants will explore if they participated in the formation of the national, district or village agriculture development planning, implementation and monitoring. Key question: what is the importance or relevance of upholding human rights for citizens at district level? Afterwards, the facilitator will invite the chairperson to give a vote of thanks to participants, and remind the recap team to prepare for the following day. The chairperson will adjourn the meeting and invite participants for tea.